just got back from seeing Jumanji: The Next Level. This is the sequel to kind of not even the reboots, just the follow-ups of the original Jumanji with Robin Williams. And this film definitely is very entertaining. I enjoyed it quite a bit. But yeah, this is my review for it, so let's get into it. So the movie picks up which seems like about 2-3 years after the events of the first one, and we get to learn a little bit about Spencer. He's gone to New York away from his friends, and he's living life in the city, but they all come and get back together for the holidays, for the Christmas season. And during this time, they plan to meet up, but Spencer's been really distant. He's been a little nervous around Martha. You can tell their relationship, they describe it as being on and off. They're taking breaks. But when Spencer gets home, he finds his mother, and living with him is his grandfather, Eddie, played by Danny DeVito, and also Danny Glover plays a character named Milo, who you learn a little bit more about the relationship as the movie goes on, but was best friends with Eddie, or Danny DeVito's character. And I must say in this movie that Danny DeVito is kind of a scene stealer. He's really, really funny in all his scenes. If you like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, you'll really like his work here. I found there's some similarities that could be drawn between the characters he plays in both of these. But as one thing leads to another, we find out that Spencer went, after they destroyed the Jumanji game in the first movie, Spencer went back and actually repaired the game so they could go back and play Jumanji again, but just for himself, because he feels when he was playing as Dr. Bravestone, he was this unstoppable force who could do anything, and he doesn't feel like that in his body, so that's why he recreated the game so he could go back and basically just feel unstoppable again. One thing leads to another, and all the original group is back, and they realize they have to go back into the game in order to save Spencer. So without them even trying to do this, both Danny DeVito and Danny Glover's characters get sucked into the game too, and there's some pretty funny moments between all their characters kind of adjusting to the new world and not to an older generation not knowing anything about video games, trying to come to terms that they are in a video game, and it makes for some really fun and really unique humor that they throw into the movie. Both The Rock and Kevin Hart do an amazing job portraying Danny DeVito and Danny Glover's characters in this movie. It was really, really funny. A lot of the characters and the actors too kind of get thrown through a loop where I'm not going to say exactly how, but they're able to, like, the players are able to change characters this time around, and that makes for some really funny dialogue and also some really funny character moments. And all the actors in this job did a really good job kind of bouncing between character to character. So this time around, they're just in a different part of Jumanji, but they have a new villain to conquer and basically a new mission to save Jumanji. And this time around, it does involve another crystal where basically Jumanji won't thrive, all the plants start to die if this crystal isn't shown in the light. And the villain in this movie, played by Rory McCain, who played the Hound in the Game of Thrones series, is the villain around, and he plays a pretty menacing looking villain. But same thing around in this movie, they have to basically find the jewel, scream Jumanji, and save Jumanji so they can get out of the game. And one thing about this movie that kind of, the action is really, really fun in this movie. They do a really good job. The animation's stellar. When it kicks into the action, it's super entertaining and really fun to watch, and they mix some humor in it, which is just makes it that much more fun to watch. But I found that in the first movie, when you realize that they have the lives tattooed on their arms, they did a really good job kind of spacing it out and growing the tension. In this movie, they lose their lives very quickly, and just because of the type of movie it is, you don't expect any of them to die. So just for them losing their lives really early on in the movie kind of took away from the tension where you knew they were going to get out of the situation, where in the first movie the stakes felt a little bit higher just because of how they paced out the deaths and them losing them lives, whereas in this movie it happens really, really quickly. So I want to say almost like the last 40 minutes they just have one life, all of them, and it kind of took away from the tension for me a little bit. This movie does have a lot of like really heartwarming moments in it, especially near the end of the movie, which I won't get too much into, but it really does a good job kind of showing character motivations, why they are the way they are and why they've chosen the paths in life that they have, especially too with Spencer. And they bring in a couple new characters into the game of Jumanji actually, which was really fun to see. Aquafina is a new member of the cast, and she does a really, really good job playing her character in the movie. And like the first movie, there is a lot of kind of silliness to the humor of the movie, but it's done in a really fun and entertaining way, not out of distaste or anything like that. And I did really, really enjoy the humor in this movie. I enjoyed the action a lot, and it was pretty fun. It's definitely, if I had to choose which one I prefer, it would be the first movie over this one. I just found it was such a fresh take the first time around, and not that this movie recycles anything, but it did less to kind of surprise me than the first movie did. And I found that I just had a lot more fun watching the first movie, but this is definitely a very welcome addition, and I recommend it's a great follow-up. And for any of the old school Jumanji fans, I'm not going to spoil what happens, but not too long after the credits roll, I think it was about maybe even just 30 seconds in, there's kind of a mid-credit scene, and definitely stick around. It does a really cool kind of throwback to the original Jumanji, which I think is going to get a lot of fans excited, and it teases what the next movie is going to be about. So my final review of Jumanji 2, The Next Level, is a 7 out of 10. This was a really fun movie. It does a good job as a follow-up, just not... It didn't bring the same entertainment value I found as the first movie did, but it's still well worth watching, and I highly recommend it, especially if you're a fan of the first movie. Make sure to like and subscribe for more of these videos. I can't wait to bring you more. I can't wait to see The Witcher coming out, The Mandalorian come to an end, and also to The Rise of Skywalker comes out this Friday, so you'll be seeing a review for both The Witcher and The Rise of Skywalker this weekend, if hopefully even too, if I could get it to you Friday, that would be amazing. But can't wait to give you guys more content, and yeah. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. Awesome.